Welcome everybody to day 3 of our challenge. This is the Launch Your Content Show Challenge. And what we're going to be talking about and what we've been talking about is how do you build an audience with your content? Whether that's a blog, a podcast, YouTube channel, or even live stream show. So welcome everybody. I'm the author of the book, Your Message Matters, How to Rise Above the Noise and Get Paid for What You Know. And one of the things I absolutely love is to build an audience around content. And I talked about this on day 1. And even in my book, I talk about this. There's a big difference between displaying your expertise and demonstrating your expertise. You might want to write that down. Display your expertise or demonstrate your expertise. You see, what a lot of writers, coaches, speakers do is they display their expertise, right? It's great to get, degrees, masters, PhD, certifications, all those things can help you be better. But most people don't care about those things as much as, can you help them? And that's a big difference between just displaying your expertise on your website and building a body of work where you're sharing and giving value up front through your blogs, your podcasts, your YouTube videos. And as you do that, people become attracted to you and your message. They want to work more closely with you in your courses and your coaching programs. And it's so much more powerful when you understand the difference between displaying your expertise and demonstrating your expertise. So welcome everybody, glad that you're here. Let me know that you're here. Put your first name, where you're watching from. We're broadcasting this across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So wherever you're catching us right now, I can see your comments as they pop in. And also I'll be here to answer your questions as well. So this is day 3, and today we're going to talk about the Content Idea Bank. I'm actually going to talk about how to come up with 90 days worth of content in 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to be actually showing you how to do this with some free tools. Who doesn't like free? That's what we're going to be talking about today as we get into this. All right, if you have yet to grab the workbook, no email address required. You can go grab it. This is a direct link to my Google Drive where the PDF is. You can download the PDF. I'm going to be showing my iPad in a second. I'm going to be taking notes, sketching in all of what we're going to be talking about today. But if you want the workbook, go to jmill.biz/workbook. jmill.biz/workbook. All right. With that, let's jump in. So, as most of you know, I used to be a high school teacher, so I can't help but review because each day builds upon the past. Now, if you missed any of day 1 and day 2, come over to our YouTube channel. You can actually go to youtube.com/the @ my whole name, Jonathan Milligan. It'll take you to my channel. But if you're already on the channel, if you're watching from YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe if you would. That way you won't miss these videos. But we've created a playlist over on our YouTube channel. You can also just go over to YouTube, type in Jonathan Milligan. I think I have my name here, right here. Just type in Jonathan Milligan. You'll find my channel, and you'll be able to binge watch those last 2 days. But right now, I'm going to give you just a quick kind of teacher review. So we're kind of jumping through this. By the way, thank you guys. I see you're here. We got Rich here from Michigan over on Facebook. Mary's joining us from Kent, Ohio on YouTube. Marva's here. Hey, Marva, over on Facebook. Thomas is here on Facebook from Virginia. Denise is here from New Jersey. Welcome, Denise. And she said she's also a former teacher. Yeah, there's a lot of teachers in this writing, coaching, speaking space. And I even qualify, I talk about that there's writer, coach, speaker, teacher. There's 4 influencer voices. The former teachers are great at doing online courses, running a membership site, because you know what it's like to teach, to come up with material, to help your students, right? All of those important topics. Awesome. See, CJ's here. Welcome. Glad that you're here. Deb's here from Washington over on YouTube. And Tom is checking us out over on Facebook. Glad you guys are here. All right, let's jump into this. So yesterday I talked about a little bit of my journey. When I started back in 2009, I started with a blog. It was a career coach blog. Then in 2011, I started blogging about blogging. And over the course of a couple of years, I was able to do over 325 posts. This is in WordPress, actually, 320 published posts. And those 320 published posts produced around 500,000 views of my blog post. And that still today, a lot of that content gets visited all of the time. So I have post that I wrote back in 2011, 12, that still people will find it in Google. That's a beautiful thing, right? Your audience is growing and you're building your audience on stuff that you've previously, that's creating a body of work. That's demonstrating your expertise, right? Then I started transitioning into podcasting. And I've done 3 different podcasts. The most recent one I launched was Market Your Message when the book came out late 2020. And we have 238 episodes on that, lots of ratings from that podcast. And we've had over 684,000 downloads since we launched that Market Your Message Show podcast. Then there's YouTube. Now, YouTube, I've been investing more in recently, but still over 196 videos that equate to almost 500,000 views on YouTube from videos there. And so people find me on YouTube. And then most recently, I've got into live streaming, and we've done over 83 episodes now. I typically live stream into Facebook, although I'm starting to multi-stream more recently, where I'm not only live in the Facebook group, I'm also live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn, and live on Twitter. So we've been able to build an audience through live streaming, which I absolutely love. And so the point of me showing you this is not that I want you to do all 4 of these. No, I want you to choose just one. The point of showing you this is that that I have gone through this. I have gone through trial and error and mistakes and figuring things out and observing what works. And that's what this challenge is about helping you to shortcut your path to success, regardless of what it is you're thinking about launching. In fact, yesterday I said, tell me if you're going to do a blog, a podcast, a YouTube channel, or live stream. So I want to hear from you again right now. This is an interactive virtual classroom. I want to hear from you. Go ahead and tell me, which one are you considering? Or maybe you started one and you just didn't know what to do with it and you kind of let it go a little bit and you're wanting to buckle down and kind of restart it. That's okay too. But put blog if you're thinking of a blog, podcast if you're thinking about your podcast, YouTube if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, or live stream if you want to go the live stream route. Go ahead and put that in. All right, so day 1, we talked about this idea of a content strategy map. I'm not going to reteach it, but it's a powerful tool to help you if you think about not just topics you want to cover, but what are the bigger categories. And I gave you the journey approach, the challenge approach, the situation approach. Go back and watch day 1, but it will really help you when you have bigger categories. And then your blog post and your podcast episodes, they become more these tiny little pieces right here, right? So these represent your actual content portion. Very, very important that you go through that. All right, yesterday we talked about your content superpower. Remember, I talked about if you're a writer, if you primarily express yourself as a writer, you want to think about a blog. If you primarily express yourself as a coach, meaning you love having conversations, if you're going to do like an interview-based podcast, then you want to think about a podcast as a coach. If you're a speaker, you want to be thinking about a YouTube channel and creating videos where you're taking a topic and you're teaching your topic through YouTube videos. And if you're a teacher, you should think about live streaming. Not that you have to start with live streaming, but I'm just giving you some ideas here because live stream is like having a virtual classroom. I love live streaming. Now, I have done all of these and I continue to do all of these. And so I'm not telling you have to choose one of these depending on what you like to do. You could be a writer but want to start a podcast. There's nothing wrong with that. But that was just to give you some examples. So today we're going to talk about this content idea bank. And I've got some links for you in the spreadsheet, in the workbook, sorry, that you can click on. And I'm going to be showing my screen here in a second to show you actually how you could use some of these tools. Because here's the thing. You don't have to come up with your ideas in your head. This is something that I believe, and this is a writer downer. Your message should come from your market, not your mind. So I might even want to write that one down. Your message should come from your market, not your mind. So what do I mean by that? Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. You don't have to sit here and try to come up with an idea off the top of your head. Your market is already searching for answers, and they're searching for solutions that you may not be able to think of. But what if there were tools that told us what our audience is searching for? That's what today is about. So let's talk about the problem and then the secret. So the problem is fighting against the blinking cursor. Can anybody relate? Like, people especially feel this when they start blogging. Oh, I hadn't done a blog post in a while, and now I got to sit down and it's blinking. What do I write about? What did I write about last time? Have I wrote a blog post about this topic? Like anxiety comes, right? It's like that writer's block. What do I do? Same thing with a podcast. Well, I need to do a podcast episode, but I don't know what to talk about. Or I need to do a YouTube video, but I can't think of anything. So here's the secret. The secret is to create one content idea bank per quarter. So a quarter is 3 months. It's roughly 12 to 13 weeks. And so what I often like to do is once a quarter, I sit down, I do some research with some of the tools, and whatever pops up and grabs my attention, I start building 12 to 13 topic ideas. You see, here's the thing. It's much easier to sit down with, whether it's a blog, a podcast, or YouTube channel, it's much easier to sit down and choose between 10 or 12 topics than it is to sit there and go, what should I write about? What should I podcast about? Is that making sense? And now, if tomorrow we're going to get into how do you actually create attractive headlines. That's huge for a lot of reasons. That's tomorrow. Today is just about the seed of the idea. How do we come up with content ideas? Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at, and by the way, let me come back around because I asked a question and then I didn't come back to you guys. So let's see here. We had one person on Facebook said they're thinking about YouTube, starting to upload videos of YouTube from the podcast I currently do, says Tom. Mary's thinking about a blog. Deb says, I have a blog, but I want to be consistent. Another person said blog and Facebook. I think I need to do YouTube or TikTok because my program is for teenagers. CJR says blog and YouTube once that's set up. Michelle says YouTube. Blog and possibly YouTube. Okay. Awesome. So a little bit over the whole gamut, which is great because what we're doing today with this content idea bank is going to help you regardless if you're going the blog route, the podcast, YouTube, or live streaming. Okay. So there are 3 links here, and I'm going to actually go over to, let me share my screen now. I'm going to go to this first one. It's called Keyword Sheeter. It's a funny word, I know, but it's like a keyword sheet, add the er.com. Let's jump over to that. So I purposefully did not do anything yet because I wanted to just kind of do it on the fly. So one of the things I'm going to use is back in July, I take a month-long sabbatical every July just to decompress, be with my family, enjoy not thinking about work. But one of the things I started doing was I started getting into baseball cards, football cards too. And then I started seeing on eBay that there were all these like old cards. Check these out. I think these are so cool. If I can get it to zoom in. Look at those old cards. This is from 1967. And so I have been buying up old cards and then selling them individually. So I might buy like this card right here, this Yankees pitcher, for 50 cents and turn around and sell it on eBay because someone's looking for this particular card for $4, $5. And it's a lot of fun. I'm an entrepreneur. I love doing that. I've always loved cards and sports cards. So I'm going to use that as an example today. I've not done this before, but we're going to use kind of a real life example. If I wanted to start building an audience around selling sports cards on eBay, then I'm looking at, I could do a blog, a podcast, I could do YouTube videos, YouTube channel, right? So let's use this as a quick example. So let's just say we put in, let's just put in baseball cards. Sometimes it's easy to start with the seed of the idea instead of a long one. And then we're just going to click on this. Now, what it's doing is it is searching Google for everything out there that's been searched on Google for baseball cards, right? So it's a lot to look at, and some of it is not going to be helpful. Some of it's not going to guide me with what it is that I want, right? So as we kind of let this go, I might just hit stop because this will produce a lot. Let's just hit stop. And you can start saving these to your planner and all that. But let me look through this. So for example, Leaf is a name brand of baseball cards. And so Leaf baseball cards worth money. So basically this means, are Leaf baseball cards worth money? Now, if I was a blogger and let's say I created a course on how to sell sports cards online, that might be a blog post, right? Are Leaf baseball cards worth money? Because why? My audience that I want to attract is searching for that, right? Look at this, late 80s baseball cards worth money. I mean, I could look at these topics right here. 1992 Leaf baseball cards worth money. And the thing is, there's probably not a whole lot of competition that is addressing these specific questions. Hope this is making sense. You can take a topic or you can take one of your categories from day one and you can find a lot of examples in here. Look at these specific ones. So this is a specific baseball player, used to play for the Atlanta Braves. Chipper Jones baseball cards worth money. Are Chipper Jones baseball cards worth money? Blue Jays cards worth money. I mean, I could have a what are cards worth category for my blog, for my YouTube, for any of that. So you can see you can come up with lots of ideas, and I didn't have to come up with that with my head. Because why? My message should come from my market, not my mind. I've already seen some things in here that I would never have thought of creating content around. All kinds of ideas in here. A lot of people want to know what their stuff's worth, right? What that means is, what's interesting about that is my first observation is that means there's a lot of people who grew up or held on to sports cards and they're trying to figure out, do I have anything worth selling? So for me, if I were to start something that was, selling sports cards 101 course, or starting a Facebook group that I wanted to invite people into, there's a lot of options here, right? So what do you guys think so far? Do you think this tool can be helpful to you? This is kind of how it works. You go through, and then if you see something that you like, you can save it to your planner here. You can download this as a spreadsheet. Now this also has YouTube, which yeah, that one actually may cost, but it may be worth it to do it one time to figure that out. Some of these free tools will allow you to do this like a couple times a day, and then it'll lock you out and want you to pay something. So just be aware of that. All right, the next one we have on our ours to look at is a Chrome extension. Now, if you use Chrome as a browser or Brave, I like to use the Brave browser. It doesn't hog as much memory as Chrome does. It doesn't make your computer as slow. But Brave will also have Chrome extensions. But extensions are these little things up here at the toolbar, up here at the top. And what it does is it allows your computer, your browser to do certain things. So if you look for this Ubersuggest, and there's actually a link in your workbook, Ubersuggest SEO and Keyword Discovery. If you add this is already added to mine. What it'll do is if you come over here to Google, if I were to type in baseball cards and search in Google, what the Ubersuggest does is it creates this over here on the side, right? So all of this stuff over here on the side, let me move myself out of the way. All of this stuff over on the side comes from that free extension. So if you go to Google right now and you don't have this extension, you're not going to see this stuff, right? What it's doing is it's telling me valuable baseball cards is searched 2,700 times on Google, the value of baseball cards, and there's just lots and lots here for me to look. Oh, got to upgrade to go further, which I actually do have a paid account. But the point is you're going to be able to see the top 10 and you can keep searching for more. So if I were to come in here and if I were to put, let's go basketball cards, then Ubersuggest is going to, oh, Michael Jordan basketball cards, search 9,900 times. Maybe I should do a blog post on that. Basketball cards of value, Kobe Bryant basketball cards. Are basketball cards worth money? So I can get lots of ideas with using this free tool. You could actually export this to a CSV. Pretty cool, huh? So the last one that I want to show you is specifically for YouTube. Now, there is a free version of this tool and there's a paid version. I have the paid version, but you can get started with the free version, and it's called TubeBuddy. So TubeBuddy, it's another extension, but what it does is when you're on YouTube, you're going to see this little symbol everywhere. So this is what I'm showing you right now is not on YouTube itself, but it adds this feature in here. And one of those is the Keyword Explorer. And what I love about this, it'll show you like what's trending right now, but then you can type something in here. So if I were to type in let me try typing in old baseball cards. First of all, you notice right now, and I know this is kind of small. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. Well, maybe that was too big. Let's try this again. Come here to Keyword Explorer, and let's type in old baseball cards. You can see here, it's already giving me suggestions. Old baseball cards worth money. finding old baseball cards, how to sell old baseball cards. Let's just try that one and see. So when we look at it, it's going to let us know, is this a good keyword to go after? And according to this, it hits the yellow. That means good. Now, I prefer to be up here in this green section. What the green section is telling me is it's using this analysis down here. So search volume is this searched enough? It's kind of fair. It's not a whole lot. The next one's competition. How many videos on YouTube are about how to sell old baseball cards? It's okay. It's in the good category. And then optimization strength is the videos that talk about how to sell old baseball cards, are they SEO targeted? And the answer to that is no, because it's a green. It's all the way over. It's saying this is kind of easy to rank for because the other people talking about old baseball cards, how to sell them, don't really know or understand SEO, which is search engine optimization. There are things you can do with your videos to get it to show up more, right? And so this would be an example of I, using this tool, would hit action over here and it says add to topic planner. I would add this to my topic planner. It'd be one of my 12 ideas, right? And then I would come back in here and I would be like, okay, what about basketball cards? Basketball cards to invest in. So that one's poor. So I would not target that idea. But I could look at this, basketball cards to invest in 2022. It gives me other ideas. Is this any good or is this poor? Okay, this one's good. So I got to think about having an idea that for a video that would rank. Okay, now I could sit here and play with this all day long, but I hope you get the point of what we're talking about here. Is the idea is our message is coming from our market, not our mind. Give me a thumbs up if that's like a big takeaway for you today. I hope that it is. And it's a relief that you don't have to sit here and try to come up with ideas. Because I have people all the time ask me, how do you, I mean, you're blogging, you're podcasting, you're doing YouTube videos, you live stream your show every week. How do you always have ideas? And the truth is, it doesn't come from my mind. It comes from my market. What is my market searching for? And how can I provide content to help them? Right? And so what I've got here for you is to come up with 12 to 15 ideas. So the homework's a little bit more tonight on day 3. What I want you to do is I want you to try to use one or more of these tools and just jot down, whether it's on this workbook or a scrap piece of paper, come up with 12 to 15 ideas. Okay? Tomorrow, we're going to use some of the ideas you come up with to teach you how to make an attractive headline. How do you make it so attractive that people will want to click on your video or your podcast to listen to, or your blog post when it shows up in the search engines, right? So that's your homework. Your homework is to go come up with 12 to 15 ideas. If you're on our Facebook group, you can go share them there, get some feedback there. Certainly can. If you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay and that you are all in. All right, so that is it for today. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have questions as we're going through this challenge, be sure to ask them. I'm just looking through here. See a lot of thumbs up, thank yous. This was helpful. Awesome. I hope this was helpful. So again, as a recap, day 1 is about your content strategy map. What are your kind of main 3 to 6 categories? Day 2 was about focusing in on, are you going to do a blog, a podcast, a YouTube channel, or a live stream? And then today is, how do you come up with those ideas? These are just seed ideas. Tomorrow, we'll get into actually creating attractive headlines and maybe get into more of how do you actually create the content. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Come back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget, we've got all these on replay for a limited time over on the YouTube channel. So just go Google or search my name on YouTube, which is right here, Jonathan Milligan. You'll find my channel, and you can binge watch all the past episodes for a limited time. We'll see you tomorrow for day 4, 3 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.